we help people that are in our Mavericks group on routes. And, most of all, I hope we just give you some really good insights, some nuggets into what's working right now. I brought a few of our team members with us. Hannah and Courtney, you'll see, are help me run Maverick Dry Cleaners, our coaching and consulting company. And Andrew White is actually our route concierge and does all of our route growth. He's been responsible, actually. He was humming along, doing really well at about 30% increases in our route business. It's been a major focus of ours, kind of month in and month out for about 6 months. And then things really started to compound using some of the tactics I'm going to share with you guys today. And let's see, in March, I think we went over 50% increase in April. Actually, he went over 60% increase over last year. We're over $1 million in route sales. So these aren't chump change numbers, right? Like these are really big numbers. So you can strike up any kind of conversation you want in the chat individually with any of those three, any resources we can give you, everything else. So yeah, I put together a little slideshow that I'll share with you. These aren't like super awesome slides because that's just not my sweet spot. But it'll get the point across for sure. So let's see. Hopefully, can you guys see that? So a couple things. One is we will, for you guys attending today, ideally, if you can stay till the end, we're going to do a quick 45, 50 minutes. I told Katie, I said, I'm going to bring you 5 strategies that can really blow up your routes. And of course, I didn't limit it to 5. I've got 16 for you. So I apologize for that. We're going to run through it. And I think you'll really like some of them because they've all been proven and worked for us and our members. But we'll send you this whole slide deck, some other resources, some opportunities, some other things. But today we just really hope you get some good insight and information. So who am I? I saw a lot of familiar names, but also a few I didn't recognize. So just really quick, I've owned In the Bag Cleaners in Wichita, Kansas for 25 years. We currently have 11 retail stores. We've got 6 routes. And I also own Maverick Dry Cleaners, where I and my team are mentor and consultant to people who are hungry to reach the top 5% of our industry. In the Bag Cleaners has done over $200 million in services provided to our clients. A couple little stats here, 35,000 regular clients, Wichita, Kansas. We're really focused on affluent clients. Obviously, we don't go run and lock the door if someone who's not our perfect criteria comes in. But we'll talk about that a little bit today and how you can be hyper-focused on a certain group of clients and how that can be really, really valuable to you. We have probably close to 75% market share now in our city, 62 team members, over 400 years with me, 20,000 square foot hub. We actually closed the store, so we've got 11 retail stores in it now, 6.5 in roughly in annual sales, going close to 7 this year, and over 20% profit. And probably the big thing for me is, and that intrigues a lot of people, is I only go to our business 60 to 90 minutes a day on Wednesday morning. And otherwise, I work from my home office helping other dry cleaners and other people in the laundry business. So, a lot of what we do, can happen without you hand-holding every piece of the process. I'm a big systems guy, so we'll share with you a number of systems that you can put in the business that actually will multiply in value over time, which I think you'll find really valuable. So you can find, and I'll show you a couple things on our website here for In the Bag Cleaners in a little bit. Probably as it relates to today, we've got a delivery tab up here, which will be valuable. We'll talk a little bit about subscriptions, which is here. And Maverick Dry Cleaners website's about to get a major facelift, but this is what it looks like right now. These are some of our members who just recently met in in March down in Dallas Fort Worth area. Really great group of people that we have. So today we're going to focus on growing your routes. So why routes? Well, routes I've found tend to create more loyal clients. It allows us to take an active role, a more active role in the relationship. So instead of you just kind of waiting for a client to fill up their bag or get a bundle of clothes and then come in and slap them down on your counter, that's a very passive role. We actually are taking a more active role when we go to their home twice a week and do things like text them the night before and other things. Okay, so these people are also much more price elastic. Really quick, interesting stat. We started subscriptions a few years ago. We have 5 different levels, and one mistake I made is that I priced them too low with too many pieces available. We don't just do wash and fold subscriptions, but we also do other subscriptions, including a run of house subscription where they basically get everything I would get as the owner. And we had priced those too low, so we've been kind of stair-stepping them up. And I finally said, you know what, let's pull the Band-Aid off of this. And I went a few months ago and we did a 20% price increase. And we reduced the number of pieces on a few of our membership levels that someone could get by 50%. So price went up 20%, and number of pieces you could get went down 50%. Like huge changes. We announced it 2 weeks before, and about 15 people canceled their subscriptions. Now that's out of hundreds. Okay, but here's what's interesting. Only one of those 15 people were on route. And Andrew will tell you, we actually, every time someone signs up for a subscription, we automatically add them to route. Not everyone accepts, but we automatically add them to route. So the fact that only one person dropped off of subscriptions with a 20% increase in price proves that they're more price elastic. People feel important. Right? Like, you know, it may be part status. Like I get my clothes delivered to my home. I get my laundry done. Like in certain circles, this is a status item for people. Revenue per client goes up considerably. I'll show you one thing real quick once I finish this slide. And the business is more profitable. Okay, we shoot for, at a minimum, $200 of revenue coming in for every hour that a driver is running a route. Okay, now last week, Andrew, unmute yourself. What did we hit last week? We went higher than 200, right? What did we hit last week?
Yeah, it was almost 290. It was just a hair under 300.
$300 per hour, and that was across all the routes, right? That wasn't just one driver.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them.
Here's the thing you guys will notice, and what I've noticed and our members have noticed is that when you go and like say, I want 10% of my business to be routes, I want 15, 20. What you'll notice is the business actually gets easier to run. There are some, plateaus you get to where it's a little challenging and you have to push through that. Like, for example, when you go from 1 to 2 trucks, you really have to have 3 people who know how to do the routes, right? Because you always have to have +1. But the idea is that it actually gets easier the more people are on routes, and the financials improve drastically. So I'll show you guys one thing here. So I'm going to share with you guys a dashboard. We use SMRT, and we have a dashboard here that we pull all the numbers into. This was put together by my friend Wash Respis, and our members have this available to them. But here's what we've got here. If we look at our routes, and I'm just going to pull up a monthly report, okay? And I'll go down to the part that's related to routes. There's a lot of data to see kind of trends and everything else. But check this out, guys. So route versus retail performance. 95% roughly of the clients I have are retail. 4.5% a route. Now, revenue share wise, these 95% of clients make up 75% of our revenue. This 4.5% make up almost 25% of our revenue. Okay. Now, are we intentional about putting our best clients on the route? Yes, we are. That's a piece of the puzzle. However, the average visit value is $40 here. On route, it's 56, a little over 56. Average pieces, I know a lot of people are hypersensitive to piece declines, is 3.5 versus 6.1 on every visit. Okay, this is an average. Visits per year, instead of 3 on average, 20. Okay, so it's huge. In fact, route clients are 7 times almost more valuable over their lifetime, bring 74% more pieces, and visit 6.5 times more frequently. This is real data. Now, I could show you where we have all of our Maverick members, and it's really the same trend across, that those who do routes have much more value, and they're utilizing leverage, where what they have is they are able to collect much more pieces from fewer people. Okay, targeted people, affluent people, people who are like their ideal target avatar. Okay, so let me go back here. All right, so most of all, and what I said is when we shift people over to route, when we add people to route, it really centers your focus on your target affluent client. Now, one thing that you could do, and almost everyone can do in our industry, is be more focused on people who are affluent in your market, right? In your community. I know we all kind of have the big heart and empathetic, and there are a lot of people who want our services. They want laundry done for them. They want it to be picked up and delivered to their door. But as a business, where our number one priority is creating cash flow, to the business is like oxygen is to the body. The idea is that you want to use that leverage by going after the people who not only want the services, but can easily afford them. Okay, it's a much longer swim upstream if you're going after people who can't afford them. And as hard as it is to understand and admit, 80% of the people in each of our communities can't afford our services if we position ourselves as premium. Some of you might see that as bad news. I see it as just an opportunity that we focus on the top 20% who can. And we'll talk about how to do that. So, like anything, it serves neither your company or your clients to just dabble with a service. I know a lot of people who do routes, and they might do one day a week, or they might pick stuff up on a Wednesday and have it back the next Wednesday. They're kind of making themselves available, almost like alterations that they then ship out. Okay, we take in alterations, but we really don't want you to go to another dry cleaner who does it in-house. So a lot of people treat routes like that. Now, I'm going to go gentle with this, but I'm going to tell you right now, 80% of dry cleaners are terrible. Okay, they have poor quality, they have indifferent customer service. So the good news is the bar isn't that high. As we talk through strategies today, I want you guys to know that our goal is not to be better than our competition. Our goal is actually to be different. And one of the big differentiators is to serve those affluent clients with high-end service like pickup and delivery. Okay? So most dry cleaners try to be everything to everyone. And what they end up doing is being commoditized because they aren't different than the other options, not just the other competitors, but other options like doing it themselves, or hiring help, or a housekeeper or a nanny or someone else to do it. Now, most of you are on this call because you want to make more money. Now, some of you will say, no. I want to take care of my clients, and I want to. Okay, that's great. Most people, even though they think it's a little negative to admit it, we want to make more money. Okay, more money is basically more revenue, more profit, and then we're able to use that profit to live the life that we want to live, to create the opportunities for our team, to offer really high value to our clients. But it actually all starts with creating cash flow from the business. Again, it's the oxygen of the body. Cash flow is to the business. So there's only 3 ways to increase your revenue. Okay, you probably heard me say this before, but I'm going to hammer it home. Only 3 ways. You can add more, ideally right fit clients, people who are going to be in your top 20% that will give you 80% of your revenue. You can increase how often those clients come or give you an order. You can increase the monetary value. So really, when most people think, I want to make more money and I want to create more profit, most people go right to the point of, I need a bunch of new clients. And new clients are important. In fact, they're one of the 3 things on this list. But believe it or not, the real gold, the real nuggets are in the other 2. Okay. Yes, we want systems to create new clients, and we want them to be as right fit as possible. But most people ignore the other 2. Been working with dry cleaners for a very long time that operate at a high level, maybe some not as high, but they start there. And then, we really get them to focus on the right things. And I've got to tell you guys, most dry cleaners do not do a very good job, for example, of re-engaging out of pattern or lost clients, right? So one advantage of Route is, it's not like opening a retail store. Okay, your supplier, who is probably the biggest gossiper in the world, probably has told all the other dry cleaners in town that you're about to open a new store. People see it being built. You eventually put up the sign, and you put up maybe one of those big hot air balloons above it, or the little things that wave out in front, and everyone knows you're open. Right? So like, someone can go battle you if they're right across the street, right down the street. Routes are different. Like, one of the big advantages of Routes is that you can go in stealth, right? Like, you can go in, focus on certain neighborhoods, pick off people who are using another business, and they'll never see you coming. Now, if I didn't know what I know, I would tell you, no, everyone focuses on we misuse or lost tunas or re-engaging clients. But I have to tell you, I've worked with enough people to know that likely they do not. Okay. So one of the biggest advantages is going in, showing attention, making those new clients feel important, and really arriving in a totally different way than what they're used to with their current provider. And the current provider or your competition will almost never see them coming. See you coming. And that's a huge, huge advantage. Okay. So 3 primary ways to add clients to your route. Number 1 is you can convert from retail to route. Now, some people will say, that doesn't really make sense. They're already my clients. Why am I going to rob Peter to pay Paul? Well, I'm going to tell you in a second. The second reason why, or second way to get new clients on the route is to do something at the front porch. Okay. Now, I will tell you that face-to-face sales is highly unleveraged. Face-to-face sales used to be great. I personally believe with Ring doorbells, I mean, I'm a sucker for a good salesperson. So like, some guy came yesterday and wanted to give us a bid on washing our windows. It's springtime. I've got a guy who washes the windows. So I quickly got rid of him and said, no, we've got that guy. And he's like, oh no, I'm much quicker. I'm much cheaper. And I said, well, I don't want cheaper. Like, I want my guy to do it, and he puts us on a schedule and we're good. Thank you. And that was it. So I wouldn't say like door-to-door sales or in front of sales are dead. I think if you have the opportunity to talk to someone, or if you're going to leave a door hanger, let's go ahead and knock to have a meaningful conversation. But it's very unleveraged work, okay, because you're one-to-one. And it takes a unique person to do that, in my opinion. It's not every single driver. And it takes a lot to keep that superstar doing that and keeping them motivated. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. but I don't believe it to be the most leveraged way to get new people on the route. So, but front porch sales also means you can leave them a gift, right? Like the front porch is in play. You've got the Nest cameras, you've got all the Ring doorbells, all this kind of stuff. And people check their porch every single day, thanks to Amazon, Zappos, all the other companies that deliver to your front porch. Third thing is, which is a big one, is to create basic awareness funnels by neighborhood. And this is huge because a lot of people, you probably heard people say this, I've driven by your store for the last 10 years and I never even knew you were there. Well, you must have missed that huge sign, and right? Like, how did you not know we were there? Well, they didn't know we were there because they're busy worried about their own stuff. Like, people are busy, they go through life and through the day with blinders on. So in many cases, they're not paying attention to things except what's their next thing to do. And it's oftentimes not to look for the new dry cleaner. So most people have an awareness problem. They just don't know that you exist, which is hard to imagine, but they just don't know. And if they know you exist, they certainly don't know that you'll go pick up from their home twice a week and do all kinds of other cool stuff for them. So let's talk strategy number one. Add doors in your lobbies and create incentives and contests for retail team. This is a loaded strategy, but it's huge. We're starting first with converting retail to route. These are clients that already trust you. These are people that you simply want to shift over from retail to route. And the reason you're going to do that is because people spend more when they're on route for a whole bunch of reasons we're going to discuss. A door like this is what we put in every single one of our lobbies. Is it super fancy? No. Andrew actually put these together. He got 12 of them. And I said, okay, let's get these together. Go to Home Depot. They're each like $79. Get a doorknob, put an order on there, put a nice little flyer with a QR code that takes someone to our route sign up page, which I'll show you in a second. And these are really effective. Why are these effective? Because most of the retail team members that we have are not expert salespeople. Okay, most of them, frankly, are order takers, has been my experience. So the idea is they are very uncomfortable starting a conversation thinking they have to sell someone on something. Okay, so this starts the conversation. Like, where does this door go to? Well, it doesn't go to anywhere, but the door is a conversation starter. So we noticed our retail to route conversions go through the roof once we added this. Now you can do other things too. For example, if you do a ready order text, you could ask them to reply deliver if they want information about pickup and delivery. We currently do that. Andrew, how many people would you say in a week do get the ready order text at retail? How many people in a given week reply deliver?
I'd say on a normal week, probably between 15 and 20.
15 to 20. So that creates a great flow of new people. Now, some of those people will be, thank you, some of those people will be one-offs, right? But a lot of them are not. And either way, you're serving that person. You do have to get a credit card, so you leave it for them. So there's a little bump in there, but arguably you probably should be having credit cards on file or charge on racking or whatever, anyhow, from a cash flow purpose. But here's the deal, okay? These doors are a game changer. Now, don't look at it like, oh, it's really janky or anything like that. We had someone up in Buffalo, and one of our members, Eric, and he made them all orange to kind of match his colors. Now, you think you can't miss this. Think of all this was a bright orange. So, and he's doing fantastic. Strategy number 2 is turnarounds. You will, if you talk to any driver much or route driver, they will say, hey, we go to this one house in this awesome neighborhood, but man, there are like 400 homes in this neighborhood. And how do we get some of the others? So there's some people call it a 5 around, 8 around, 10 around, pick your number. But the idea is that if you go to one house, you want to go to homes to the left and homes to the right. That if that basically shares that you're in the neighborhood, you're doing twice a week pickup and delivery. Knock on the door. If no one's there, you leave a flyer, something like a route flyer like this. Okay, we give 3 really great offers that have historically worked very strong for us. We have a dedicated phone number that Andrew has right to his cell phone. And we also have the ability to do the QR code, which are totally back in play, have been for a while. QR codes right to the route page. $10 free dry cleaning, that's $10 in free dry cleaning, every third shirt free, and then $19 comforter cleaning. Really, really strong, irresistible offers to kind of get that new client to change their behavior and start using us. Some other things on the back, which you'll notice, like guarantee. This makes some people pucker a little bit, but protected by double your money back guarantee. All we're trying to do here is reverse risk. I can't count even on one hand the number of times that someone has actually asked for this guarantee in the 3 years that we've been doing it. So we get all the benefits of risk reversal, but almost no one asks for it. So, but this is the kind of flyer we use. We don't use a little door hanger hole. There's a place in town who made these kind of cool little Band-Aids because it's so windy in Kansas. They call them bandits. And we just drill a little hole in these things, and then that goes on basically any doorknob. You want to supercharge this, give them a mechanism with it for them to use with their first order, like a bag. My friend Ryan Lutzow, he makes bags for us and for other things I'll show you in a second. And when you add that mechanism with the bag, it will add a lot to it. Strategy 3, create a funnel to your website for sign up. Have things like Google Ads, QR codes on your trucks, any advertisement that you put out, you want to have that point towards that. All right, what does that look like? Our website right here in the bag cleaners. One thing I'll point out, you'll notice that I'm the face of the business, even though I'm rarely there. Someone needs to be the face of your business. People love doing business with people, not with businesses, not with big companies, right? So if we go into pickup and delivery, what you'll see here, you'll see an average picture of one of our trucks, but we have a service area. There are prompts to sign up. This is a phone that gets answered. This is actually a cell phone number directly to Andrew. You could check this out. This was a 1-minute video that gets an unbelievable amount of views. And I don't know, what did we pay for that? Like $350 for it to be professionally done, Andrew?
Yep, $350.
I thought it was going to be a lot more, but this cat came out and, he put together, you guys will just have to watch it when you get a second. It's under the pickup and delivery thing. But then we go on for people who need a little more meat on the bone, and go and share some of the things that we do that are different than others. We put a face. This is Andrew here, and Ethan and Julius and Tyler and Jeremy. We really put a face to the folks who are going to be serving them. Items that we do, you can kind of look through here, FAQs, and then a direct sign up takes you, we use SMRT, so it pulled up my information, and obviously I've used the company before. Otherwise, it would take someone to a sign up sheet if I wasn't already logged in there. Okay. Cool. So the point being, though, is you want to take someone consistently to there, and think of all the places, flyers, trucks, QR codes, whatever you can. You want to point to that one place and make sure it's done right. It doesn't cost a ton of money, but you can really go and do that, and it's then super valuable. Okay. Strategy number 4, define your dream neighborhoods. This is another thing. Not only this kind of pairs up with focusing on the affluent, but here's the deal. When you we basically focus on 15 neighborhoods. Okay, and when you focus on certain neighborhoods, you can, with your Google Ads, which are very effective these days at getting new clients, you can geofence those neighborhoods. You can target them with direct mail or EDDM mailings, and and again, you can, when they come in and fill out the information, you can basically through that QR code go into the website, find out where they live. So what it looks like for us, and Andrew just finished some of this, so if you ever want to have a conversation with him, you're more than welcome. But what it ends up looking like then is, sorry to go back and forth here, but I'll show you a couple quick things. We create this list. So our company, over 6 million in sales, almost 7, is basically based off of 15 good neighborhoods. Now, we had someone in the Nashville market who's one of our members, and like his was the same way, but like everything was $1 million plus, like, home value $1 million plus. So we created this. I'll tell you what, Hannah, Andrew, you put together that chat GPT prompt, which basically gives you all of these neighborhoods for your area, right?
Yeah, I can share some.
Yeah, let's do this. When we send out the stuff, Hannah and Courtney, let's send people that chat GPT prompt. And you can pull up the dream neighborhoods around you. Double check it. There might be 1 or 2 missing or whatever, but it'll give you all of this information. Now, here's what's cool. When you say how many route clients you've got in a certain neighborhood, and then you see how many homes are in each of those neighborhoods, some bells will start ringing. Now, we also use this basically to identify carrier routes for EDDM. I'll show you in a second the EDDM mailer that we're using, super effective at getting not only route clients, but driving people to retail stores. Okay, while we're here, I will show you, just for our thing here, I put all of our top 5% in one color of in the bag clients that are non-route. And then I put our top 5% of route clients. So when you start looking at your neighborhoods, you can really determine, what it looks like. I love using satellite view because you can go in and see who has pools, see who lives on the golf course, see what kind of penetration you have. But the idea is you really want to get your top 5% of blue, in this case, top clients, moved over to become a route client. So those are like super focused people. Those are people you might want to go have a face-to-face with, and they already love and trust your company anyhow. The cool thing when you put these up on something like Google Maps like this is you can see all the information about them, right? So this is Michael Fowler. Here's his phone number. Here's his address. He uses currently store 15. His last visit date, actually, I'm sorry, I pulled this a while ago. Last visit date was April 6th when I ran this. Total spending 2209, year to date so far this year 208. Okay, so an okay client. With each one of these, you pull up the information. Now, you can't do this. Okay, this is a good client here, $5,700. You can't do this if you don't get people's addresses. Okay, so one thing I'm going to share is most dry cleaners are terrible at this. My friend Cohen Wills down at Cleaner Marketing will tell you guys he sees people's databases all the time. Most people do not get addresses, but it's actually very easy to get people's addresses when they become a new client. Most people have the addresses for route clients, obviously, because you go there, but most people don't have it for the others. So you can't post your top 5% on here if you don't have their address, right? So one of the big things I'm going to have you focus on or think about is getting the address and filling in the data so you can really look at this and really look at it by neighborhood. Again, this is just the top 5% of route and retail because that's who we're focused on getting over on to route. Okay, here's the EDDM mailer. This is 8.5 by 11. And the reason why it's that size is because then mail carriers use it as a wrap for the rest of the mail and you can't miss it. So this is one side, great offers. Okay. The back side talks a little about our brand promise, talks about route delivery, and then also talks about locations. A couple QR codes, one for each route, retail. But it's pretty attractive. Hannah put this together and she I think it was 70% done on AI, and then she cleaned it up and made it even better. So that's that. So here's some ways to increase the frequency of pickups. We first of all talked about, hey, how do we get more clients? How do we now turn our attention to getting people to use the service more often? One is subscriptions. So I'm going to share with you guys our subscription plans. We've got 5 of them, and we kind of create a value equation chart for some of these. Anything but the discount pass, we automatically go and offer them pickup and delivery. Strategy number 6. Most people do Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday routes. So one of the big advantages is to figure out what the heck to do on Wednesday. Not a lot of people think their drivers are good salespeople. So the alternative to that is to get them booked appointments for things like patio cushions, area rugs, window treatments. So all we do when we want to push one of these, we did a text earlier on patio cushions, and I think that was yesterday, and I think we got a pickups for next week. It's the season's kind of dwindling as we go into Memorial Day. Fall season's much better for patio cushions, but I think we scheduled maybe 150 patio cushions to be picked up next Wednesday. So what we'll do is we'll send a text and say, reply yes, if you would like free pickup and delivery for your patio cushions. Now, we're keeping our drivers busy on Wednesday. We're getting the extra money from these types of things, and we're increasing the frequency of how oftentimes people visit. This was right at the beginning of this last season. I think we did over 6,000 patio cushions over the course of the last 6 months. Strategy number 7, comforter bag reminder. So whenever you can create a mechanism for someone to use something, like we're huge on comforters. Comforters for me, we do 150 to 200 comforters every single day, made up 1/3 of our profit each of the last few years. At retail stores and on route, we put a reminder and then put a bag. Now on route, the bag actually has a little label that has their name on it and what route they're on. So actually, we never have a mix-up, right? Like there's never is this person's name in it? Our driver doesn't need to worry about it. And we noticed that when we put that label on the bag, then people used it more because they know all they've got to do is put it into action. Okay, we get those bags there from Ryan Lutzow, who we love for anything plastic. This is an average day of comforters. So if you guys aren't doing comforters and really blowing it up, don't use the excuse I don't have equipment for it. Let me show you how to do it. It's a game changer. It's the second most profitable thing we do, the most scalable profitable thing. Only wedding dresses are more profitable. All right, strategy number 8, rigorous re-engagement. I told you that most dry cleaners aren't good at this, and I've learned that to be absolutely true. We actually picked this up from my friend Mark Albrecht, who's on the call with the Route Pros. Actually, a little plug for him. I don't know if it's too late for people to sign up, but I think May 12th through the 14th, you're having a big deal, Mark, in Columbus, where I know a lot of people are going to learn a ton from you on routes. So, but anyhow, a we miss you type thing where you leave a note behind where someone has not used your services, leave a phone number. Sometimes a personal note like this left tucked in the door or, put on the door somehow can be really, really meaningful to someone. It just shows that you care. While you're there, knock in case they're there and just say, hey, we miss you. You can use Wednesdays as well to kind of create these for the next week. Strategy number 9, text reminders. Here are some ways to increase the monetary value of your visits. Strategy 10, meaningful welcome and onboarding to the route. So these are awareness of services that are offered. Most people don't know all the things that we can help them with. So we give everyone new on the route, or actually new on retail as well, a welcome gift, a punch card, personalized bags, whether they're for dry cleaning, it's a different bag than wash and fold. And then we try to go out and meet with them to personally get them onboarded. We give them this welcome gift. So we share with them all the services that we do, and talk about our guarantees and subscriptions and give them the theater-sized box of Mike and Ike candies. And it really, really works well. Okay, so if you haven't, really dial in your onboarding. Ideally, it would be your driver who goes out and makes that personal introduction, maybe gives a wreath hook, or what we love to do for our really good clients is to give a 24-inch rolling rack. This is at my house, but it looks like this. Okay, so you're not cramming all of the items onto a doorknob or onto a wreath hook and then smashing them between the door and the storm door. Okay, you can see then the bags also are left for wash and fold. Yes, don't judge. I get pickup and delivery, even though we own the company, but that's because I only go in once a week. So we want to experience what we're offering as well. Strategy 12, annual home audit. Most people do not talk about this, okay? But there's a huge opportunity, and anyone who has ever done restoration, you have got a huge advantage. And let me show you why. I think I've got it right here. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all this, but you can easily put a home audit together for someone where you go, could be part of onboarding. More than likely, it would be maybe once a year offered to people, $1 million, $2 million plus homes. And you go in there and look at all the things that you can clean for them. Okay, maybe you don't do certain things like carpet, but you know what? Maybe you can get an affiliate fee by turning them on to someone who you know does a really good job with carpet, right? But start looking through, and we do these by room, but start looking through all of the different things that you can do and help them with. Throw pillows. You might not clean mattresses, but hey, maybe you have someone that you could refer. And so what you end up having is a whole bunch of stuff by room that you can walk around. You can obviously do patio cushions. You can do all the comforters. What we've noticed with some of our affluent clients is that you can go in and propose to them that you give a full clean of things once or twice a year when they're on vacation for a week. So you can bundle that up and create a package where their carpets get cleaned, their wood floors get cleaned. You do all the textile items. These are people who really, really, really see the value and the advantage of that. Okay. So think of that home audit. 13, separate price list for routes. Premium service with a premium price. What I've seen some people do, a lot of people say it's same price as retail. Okay. At the end of the day, most people on route are extremely price elastic. So what a number of our members have done is they just create a different price list for people who are on route. Maybe it's 10% more, maybe it's 15% more. They think they're adding extra value, extra service, so they go and add the extra price. And I've never heard of someone who has a challenge with that, who's a good client in your top 20%, who it costs a little bit more for the added service. Okay, so you might be leaving a little money on the table if you're not doing that. A few bonus strategies to share with you. Get full data for all clients. Okay. We do a simple data capture card. Maybe Hannah and Courtney, you could include that in the resources, but just share a data capture card. It also serves as an opt-in for us to get marketing emails and texts, but they fill out all their own information, and we do it right after we give them the welcome gift. So the law of reciprocity kicks in, and then they go ahead and fill out the card in almost all cases. Strategy 15. Have some sort of vehicle tracking with dash cams. We happen to use Links Up, and we love it. Okay. You can reach out to us. We've kind of got a deal. It's not an affiliate program. Just our members who do Links Up get a special pricing with them. We don't get any kickback. However, we'd be happy to extend that to any of you guys. It's really awesome. You can see here the dash cams front and back. So if there's someone jumps in and starts driving down the street, there might be a seatbelt warning. If they're on the cell phone, it tells them get off the cell phone. If there's an accident, this saved our butt. It went from a potentially at fault accident to a no fault accident with the driver year before last, and it was huge. But this is a really robust service. You see where your drivers are. You can message them, dispatch. That doesn't apply so much to us. We don't even do anymore with our shuttle drivers. We don't do manifests of when they get to every store, because what Andrew has done is he's geofenced each of our locations. So he sees a report every single morning of when people were at the different stores, just because of the links up having the notification on the report that that person was there. Okay, last strategy for you. Learn about what the affluent desire. We give this to our members, but as a gift, but probably my favorite book on this is from Dan Kennedy, who's a real straight shooter, almost offensively straight shooter. And he wrote this book with marketing to the affluent. There's actually a fourth edition, which is newer. If you get it, get the fourth edition. They're both good, but the fourth edition is co-written with another guy. So it's really, really good. And it'll start thinking, hey, our best clients really aren't just looking for a great deal. Okay. They want other things. They want to feel important. They want status. They don't want to be the last to the party in their neighborhood. Like, they think differently. So your messaging can be different. Okay. As we wrap up here, and I want to leave some time for Q&A, at least 10 minutes here. And remarkably, I am on time, which never happens. Time management is a horrible skill of mine. So I just wanted to share with you guys, we currently have a program. We have 17, 18 people going through this right now. Every quarter, we start a program that we call Show Me the Money. Okay. And the route stuff today, this was just the free stuff, but like the route strategies that we use is one of the 8 days that we go over in that 8-week course. We get someone's price right. We get certain quick costs reduced. And literally we're seeing right now, this is our first group going through it right now. We're seeing people literally double their profits. Okay. In percentage, and double their profits in dollar amount. I mean, it's crazy. So we're going to start doing this every quarter. Our next one's in July. So if you love like what we talked about today, but you're like, oh man, Dave talks really, really fast. That's a lot of stuff we got to do. That's how we break it down. We help someone 8 weeks. It costs $1,000. If it doesn't immediately in 8 weeks give you $10,000, we give you the $1,000 back. Okay. So the idea though is that we'll send you some more information, but we're going to start our next one in July. And if you love what we're talking about, you love some of these ideas, this is literally just scratching the surface of what we do and what we can help you with in your business. So Katie, I'm going to stop sharing, but that's what I've got today, and I'll look over the chat. But if you want to see if anyone's got any questions, that would be awesome.
Awesome. Before that, I just want to back up. Everything that you have said is so vital. I am not a dry cleaner. I do not run a dry cleaner, but I am a millennial who would so benefit from texts and pickup and delivery. And I will tell you that when you're saying that people don't know about your services, it's so true. I have 7 dry cleaners within 5 miles of my home, 0 of which offer pickup and delivery, 0 of which I've seen ads for, and 0 of which have been to my door. And I have dry cleaning that needs to be done, and I am dreading going and dropping it off myself. So if you are on the fence about anything he has said today, I just, as the key demographic here, want to share it's so important. And I've done a lot of research actually alongside that to let you know that millennials and Gen Z and even Gen X have no idea what you're doing. So get out there, do all the things. Take all of these pieces of advice.
For sure. And yeah, there were a couple questions here. Someone was asking about auto adding people. We never just automatically add someone to route. So and Andrew, you can, since I'm not there much, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we always have an onboarding call before first pickup. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah. So anytime anybody gets added to a subscription, I personally reach out to that person so that way I can add them onto a route service. If they, refuse completely, that's, fine. I'm not going to force somebody onto route, but at the same time, I'm at least going to make sure that they're fully aware of the additional services that we offer.
Yeah, no, that's great. And Beth asked, how do you get all that info on a Google map? We could have put for a given neighborhood, because it's very helpful. We have another map where we have all of our clients on it. That almost gives me a little panic attack. And last thing I wanted to do was, give that to any of you guys. But you basically add that up in Google Maps, and it's super easy. Like you just export out of your point of sale. Again, you have to have people's addresses, which is a major issue for most people. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the lowest hanging fruit in our industry, whether it's retail or route, is going after people who have either kind of gone dormant or gone lost or gone out of pattern. Okay. One of the most meaningful ways to do that is to send them something. You can't send them something if you don't have their address. Now, people will give out their address more easily than giving out their email address, which is odd because it's where their kids put their head down at night and everything else. But again, use that data capture card that we'll share with you guys. Super, super easy. Yeah, anyone want to raise their hand or unmute yourself and ask any question? Feel free. Oh, I'm super nervous about cleaning patio cushions. Yeah, don't be. What we do, we have a whole program on that and a whole webinar that we did that we could share a link to for that with you. But here's the deal, we did, I think, 6,000-ish in the last 6 months. We didn't have one fall apart. Maybe one. Like if they're really like rotted out, have mildew. Now, we don't go there and sit and take the power washer to them. Okay, it'd probably be for another call, but like they're super, super easy. The big thing that's the hook on it is in the fall when you do it, you actually offer free storage for it as well. If you don't have the space, that's fine. You can easily bake the price into it and then go get a storage unit, pack them high. We have a lot of our members who do that, really valuable. So. And yeah, Andrew said clean them by hand. You've moonlighted a couple times there, Andrew, doing patio cushions, so you know.
Yep, I've cleaned my fair share.
What else do you guys have?
Hey, Dave,
anything's fair game.
I have a question for you. As we do the dabbling in the routes, and it's something that we could. You gave some amazing tips today because it's and actually I'm sitting in my van now, but when you do the geofencing in the Google ads and targeting and I'm familiar with the EDDMs and all of that, but when you do the geofencing with Google ads, as I'm learning about it, it literally targets them. So when they are on their phone or something, your ad comes up, right? And then your ad should be targeting pickup and delivery or what have you for that area. Is that what I'm understanding that to look like?
Yeah, I'd say that's more of a meta ad, Facebook, Instagram, where it does that and the ad goes up. I'm not a huge fan of those ads because I think people see them more as entertainment instead of making a buying decision. The idea with Google ads is that if you have certain keywords, that if someone's actively searching out, you're going to come up and be top of the list, essentially, if you are focusing on those keywords that you bid on, essentially, in those areas. You can choose them by zip code. You can choose them. So the idea is if you're in a big city, you don't have to go all of Chicago, right? Like you could choose these 3 zip codes around me, and that's the only place that you're going to spend the Google ad money on to make sure you come to the top for certain search words.
Can I dig a little bit deeper in asking one additional question? I'm not sure if you guys, since you have that market out there, in talking with, we did commercials and things like that. And with talking with the, stations that do our commercials, they talk about geofencing as if your customer, we really have only one other competitor. We're the only cleaner in our town. I don't know if you know Illinois at all, but near Rockford. So Rockfords are the biggest quote unquote city next to us. So we're the only dry cleaner in our county, and then they go over there. And I know that's where our money is going. They're heading north into Rockford and geofencing. But one of the things that they shared about geofencing is if they go to another cleaners, you can have your geofencing pop up in advertising your business in that. Going back to it, is that something that you would do? Because is that more the meta that you're talking about, or would that be considered more geofencing that you want to target?
Yeah, I mean, you could do both, right? Like I've seen people do this in a number of different ways, like nice malls, for example, or
Yep.
shopping areas.
Yeah.
Other people do it like if there's a bridal fair, our number
Yep.
one profitable thing is wedding gowns, right?
Wedding gowns.
So,
Yep.
instead of spending $5,000 for the booth, maybe you do that and run ads during
Mhm.
that time period where people have location services on and they're attending the fair.
Right. Right.
Bridal fair, or there's a lot of things. As the more you start thinking about it, where you can do that, you can even do your competitors. I haven't actually seen that be super fruitful because it kind of comes across weird, maybe. But believe it or not, like consistent. If you focus on a few neighborhoods and consistent EDDMs running to it, if you're not really already penetrating those zip codes. Define the neighborhoods, run EDDMs, do some Google ads to it, and you're going to kill it.
Okay. I have so much more to ask. I could go on because I attend.
Oh, you're fine.
You are absolutely amazing. If you guys are just starting out with Dave, you guys got to tap into it. And I put it on my bucket list that we're going to be part of your team one day. So my husband and my son and myself, the two of them run everything. The comforters are what scare us. And you started to talk about it because we're a small cleaner, meaning my husband will come back. They love the idea. I'm trying to get them to do the quarterly thing. I think I've got them doing it because it's a huge profit. We just ran a promo this month and it was huge, or last month, and it was huge, right? It's such a low labor, high income thing to do, right? Tell me how, the equipment, that's what the biggest concern, the space and the equipment for us.
Yeah, 85% of comforters are launderable on average, even if they're down covered, it says dry clean only. So what you want to do is you want to go to a laundromat. Okay. And 1 day a week, 2 times a week, or 2 days a week, whatever the flow is you go and put 1 or 2 people on your team and take them over to the laundromat, work a deal with the person at the laundromat and build it up. I did that, and we were focused on wash, dry, fold at the same time, both residential and commercial, plus the comforters. And we build it where we had 2 people there, 3 people there, 4 people there, 6 people there, 8 people at this laundromat, because laundromats aren't busy during the day, during the week. They're busy in the afternoon, evening, and then all weekend long. So don't use the excuse. So here's the kicker. Comforters are our number 1 lead magnet, both on route and on retail. Like when people start with us, comforters is the number 1 reason they do it. And almost all dry cleaners say exactly what you just said. It ties up my machines. I don't have room to do it. Well, that's great. We did it to the laundromats, and then we eventually built a private laundromat in the warehouse next to us.
Sure. When you do you have that worry about them? In your machines, you have, your sour and all the cleaning, the programmable things. Do you take the less soiled things over there to the laundromat? Do you kind of sort it out that way? So your heavier soiled ones with stains, you keep more in house for your own machines that have all the solutions, or not an issue?
No, we, sometimes we'll add a little bit more, but a good soap, and we've got some that we'll use for shirts that, we'll occasionally use with our comforters. But
right.
Frankly, we actually are using all of our injectable stuff is through Sanitone, but we actually use for wash and fold and most comforters, we use a pod that we get from Sam's Club.
Got it. Perfect.
And it gets it super clean.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
You bet. No, and you need more information, any of you guys. Let's just get on a call together. I'm a huge giver. Big part of my life, I was a big taker. Got some time to make up with that. So, I'll just tell you what works, and then our groups are meant for helping you kind of get there. And kind of we'll tell you what works and even more, but then we'll help you put it into action as well.
I'd just like to take a moment. This is Sue Kratz from Heartland Fabric Care. Thank you, Dave, so much for being our speaker today. I do want to just reiterate what Katie said earlier, that she is actually going to be one of our speakers in Louisville. If you haven't heard what she says about millennials and other generations in the dry cleaning business, you need to come to Louisville for the fabric care thing that we're doing there. It's just an amazing topic, and we will have 3 other speakers who are also going to talk about the future of dry cleaning. So I highly recommend you take a look at our webpage. I posted that earlier on in the chat, and make your reservations. Great stuff.
Awesome. Well, you guys are doing a great job with, I guess not new anymore, but the newly branded Heartland. And it's really excited to see what you guys have done to bring the groups together. So congratulations and absolute pleasure having you guys having me on. I really, really appreciate the opportunity.
Cannot thank you enough for being here today and for sharing all of this incredible information. It's looking like you might need to do something on cushions specifically from all the questions we've gotten about just cushions. So
yeah. Huge moneymaker.
Yeah, no kidding. But thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, you can always send us a message, email us, and we will share this recording with all of you in attendance today.
Awesome. See you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.